Hi, and welcome to this episode of From the Syllabus. In today's episode, we are going to talk about how I use Twitter to have my students interact between classes. So once class is over and before we get to the next one. I am Lee Hall, and I am an Associate Professor of Literacy Studies at the University of North Carolina in Chapel Hill. So here are the general rules. For the most part, this is word for word what the most recent version of what I've given to my students about what it means to tweet between class sessions. So I tell them that they can live tweet outside of class during the week, and I allow up to 3 people to sign up and do this during the week. Now, I don't know why I picked 3, probably because on my end it seemed manageable to keep up with. But really, if I could do it over again, I would not limit it to how many people can live tweet during the week because it's really not that hard to keep up with as a in terms of grading. So live tweeting so let me back up. So the students sign up on the course schedule. They take up a slot that says they're going to be live tweeting during the week, and I ask them only to commit to that if they know that they're going to do it. So when they start, after class is over, basically your official start time is when class ends, and the official end time is when the next class begins. So if you were the class tweeter for the week of January 19th, for this particular class, it met on Tuesday, so January 19th was a Tuesday. So your official start time would be at 1:45 on January 19th. Class ended at 1:45. So they would start then, and then it would end on Tuesday, the following Tuesday at 1:26. No, in this case, January 26th at 11 o'clock when the next class starts. So that's the time frame, right? From the time class ends till the next one begins. I tell them they can tweet and retweet anything. I'm not thinking about how much original content are they creating. I'm not thinking about how much content are they retweeting and sharing, right? I'm just asking them to be engaged with the ideas that are in the course. I ask them to use the course hashtag to get credit for their work. So, for us, that is just the course number, right? It's hashtag EDUC, then the course number. So that's what I would recommend doing. Of course, check it out, make sure it's not being used. In addition to that, they can use any other hashtags, or they can call out people using the @ symbol, however they want. That doesn't matter to me. But if you don't have the course hashtag in there, then I can't give you credit for your work, because it's not just the act of tweeting that's important. It's also the act that it appears on our course hashtag thread, right? So that a student could come in and just do a search for our course hashtag and be able to see what was going on. All right. So the other thing is, in this case, since there are only 3 people could live tweet, it was first come, first serve. That didn't, for the most part, appear to be a problem. I did tell students, hey, if this is something you really want to do and you're not getting the opportunity to do it, please come and speak to me. We can work it out. I don't think that ever came up. And I asked them to tweet 3 to 5 times per day each day. Okay. So, but basically, I'm probably looking at maybe 6 days here. So, yeah, because I would say that like on Tuesday we have when class starts, and Tuesday when class ends, and the next Tuesday when class starts. Those aren't really full days. So 3 to 5 times per day for about 6 days. And it can be a mix of original tweets and retweets. And this is surprisingly easy to check because you can just look at Twitter in that particular time frame, and you can get a general sense of if somebody's tweeting or retweeting. And of course, you can always go to that student's Twitter account if you need to have a more fine-grained look. I don't find this to be particularly overbearing. But as I have said in my video about tweeting during class, I don't prescribe a rubric. I'm not doing a fine-grained analysis here. With tweeting in class, if you've watched that video, you will see that I don't tell students how many times to tweet in class when they're being a classroom tweeter. But outside of class during the week, I do. And I think that's important because if you've got, all of Friday to tweet, well, what does that look like? What's going to constitute some kind of good engagement on Twitter, right? Should I just be tweeting all day long for the entire week? No. So that's why I put a cap on it. And again, I find that works well. And some students do more than that. If students are doing less than that, then they're not going to be getting credit at all. This is sort of a get credit or don't get credit kind of an event here. Now, what I noticed from this is about half of the students tried it at least one time. And some of those students got on, they did it for a couple of days and then they just quit and chose not to get credit for the week. And that's fine. Um, about a quarter of the students are doing it on a regular basis, meaning they're tweeting probably every other week during the week. So there's a small subset of my students that are pretty engaged with Twitter for class, and the tweets that they provided really were substantive, and they really contributed to the overall class discussions, because I would, or other students would, make reference to them in class, and then we would look at certain things and discuss certain things together that I don't think would have happened otherwise. And then what I liked about using Twitter between class, personally, it enhanced my own knowledge, right? Students found things like I can't find everything. You can't find everything. Students found things that really enriched my own personal knowledge and understanding. So I really appreciated that. I think the course was better off for that information being shared with everybody. And of course, it allowed students to talk between sessions. Now, while students can talk and interact with each other, with myself, with anybody that's on Twitter, I don't know that that really happened that much unless I set it up to have a Twitter chat, which I will talk about in a future video. But as far as just generally using Twitter during the week, I would sometimes talk to my students and ask them questions and have a conversation with them over Twitter, and they would respond. I was usually the initiator. I don't think students did not typically initiate discussions with me. And I did not see them typically initiating discussions or conversations with each other or commenting on each other's tweets. I don't know what to think of that. I'm just making a statement there. And it also brought new and relevant issues to the forefront, right? So they're really bringing about like there's tons of stuff going on in the news related to our class. They're able to collectively sort of bring that together to really enhance everything. Now, I don't know how much students were reading the Twitter feed and that sort of thing, but I'm also going to be talking in a future video about how we then used what went on between sessions in subsequent classes. So just some things to be aware of. If you've got questions, you can email me. I have 2 email addresses here for you. And you can also find me at leahall.wordpress.com on Confessions of a Bored Academic, where I discuss issues of teaching in higher education.